Well, we're going to take you down to Paraguay right now. I want to introduce you to Judah Mooney, and Judah came all the way up here from Paraguay to talk to you guys tonight. Judah?
Thank you. Muy buenas noches. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited because when a group of people like this get together for the purpose of seeing the kingdom of God grow, awesome things start happening. And in fact, you know, I have a special place in my heart for the Barnabas group. When 3 years ago, I'll just make this short, but I got a phone call from somebody that said there's an American stuck on the side of the road with a whole group van full of short-term missionaries. Can you help them out? So I went out, and it was one of the Barnabas members from San Diego and his team, and I got to show them some of our ministry. And really, since that moment 3 years ago, our ministry was able to create, that man was able to create the synergy that we needed. He was a catalyst to triple the size of our ministry in these last 3 years. Really, we went from serving 300 women to now being able to serve about 1,800 women. And the way he did that was by creating a joint venture with businessmen in Paraguay who were matched resources and knowledge and to be able to help us grow. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come out here and really see how you can invest in ministries. So I want to talk a little bit about Paraguay. Paraguay is a country in the heart of South America, a country with 7 million people in it. And what most people don't know about Paraguay is that it used to be the largest country in South America. After the Triple Alliance War, where they tried to win a war against 3 neighboring countries, Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay, it ended up being one of the smallest countries in South America, and also one of the least populated. In fact, after the war, the geographics of the country were 20 women to every man. So women, you would have had your choice. But in fact, it was because of that situation that it became the women's responsibility, and it was expected of them to take care of the households. And for the men, it created a culture of very, very steeped in machismo, where men were just no longer responsible to take care of the needs of the family, but were seen more as sperm donors. So that's the situation that we find in many of the squatter zones that are in the greater Asuncion region. Squatter zones are the people from the interior of the country that try to find work in the city. Many times, though, they are uneducated. They barely speak Spanish. They speak the Guarani language. And many times try to provide for their own needs through small businesses. But when I went to Paraguay initially to start a network of churches that would work in their communities, we set up a network of over 500 churches that were with about 3,000 volunteers that were serving their communities through an outreach of humanitarian aid, feeding kids and creating Awana clubs. What I realized is that many times the poor were poor not because there weren't opportunities, but because they didn't know how to administrate those opportunities. What we found, and because I have a love for business and I've been a business owner and entrepreneur since I was young, I found that the small businesses were not successful, not because they didn't have a margin in their sales. Many times the margins were close to 100%. But what was happening is that there was loan sharks, usurers, that were charging close to 500 to 600% interest rates. I don't know if your business would work with that type of interest, but what I found was that this was modern day financial slavery. Being able to get up every morning early, work hard, see money come in, see money go out, but never understand why you're not able to put food on the table. And for me, that is poverty. Poverty is the inability to be able to hope for a better future. So Diaconia started in 2012. We didn't have much. We didn't have the resources. It was me, and then I brought in a partner that had worked with World Vision in Mexico and understood microfinance. But we had something. We had a stubborn faith. And we had a stubborn faith that this is what God wanted to do in Paraguay, and this is what the country needed. That with our understanding of poverty, we could not just do charity anymore, because charity wasn't a solution. We needed to create a holistic development approach, a way where people could look at us and be able to say thank you, because this is what I have done through hard work. This is Alicia. I split my missionary salary with my co-founder, and we also started one small microfinance group, a trust group with 15 women. And Alicia was one of the first women in our group. She started selling, she took a $50 loan and started selling breaded meat, hot plates of food, to construction workers. She paid that loan back in 3 months. The next loan she took out, she started a vegetable stand. She paid that back in 4 months, took a third loan out, a little bit larger, started buying and selling pigs. As Alicia starts growing her business, not only is it the finances, but just, okay, I'll fast forward 3 years. I have only a little bit of time. I went to her group, and she wasn't in the group, she was sick, so I walked into her home a couple of blocks away. Dirt floor still, a poor area. And Alicia was there, and as I walked into her home, she started crying. And she said, Jude, I want to tell you something. She said, when I started with Diaconia, when the pastor's wife invited me to be part of that trust group, she said, I was going to work with the loan shark. I was about to give my piece of property, my one-room home, for a ticket out of the country. I was going to leave my kids with my neighbors to try to find work somewhere else. But instead, I took a loan and I started working. She said, I work very hard. And I want to tell you something. And she called her daughter in, her oldest daughter, and she said, my oldest daughter has finished her first year of college. She's going to be a pharmacist. And when I'm old, she's going to take care of me. So we start trust groups. We have about 100 trust groups today. Our need is to double our size. We're 48% financially self-sustaining today. But what we realized is not just giving loans. What we need to do is we need to do training. We do financial literacy training. We do vocational training. And we set up partnership with local churches to be able to go in and be chaplains for our groups. Our groups meet every week. And what we've done is we've told the churches, come out of your church, meet with our in the marketplace where we already have people gathering. And there you can do your discipleship and lead people to Christ and continue to develop that discipleship process with them. So we've worked now with 1,800 people in 100 different communities, and our need is to grow. We're looking at about 2 years before we hit our point of self-sustainability. We're about 50% self-sustaining, and it's going to take a couple years. But our model is, just like we teach people to be self-sustaining, is our model is to become self-sustaining, and then we'll be able to use more social impact funds, investment funds, for our continued growth. So I'm here today because I'd like to ask for your help. You guys have experience in doubling your businesses. I think many of you have probably done that. Human resources, marketing. We're going to need help with an advisory board to help grow our U.S. presence. This Saturday, I'm running a SWAT meeting here in Orange County at 9 o'clock in the morning. I think the address is there in your form. I'd love to have you out to be able to look, to use your experience and to think through some of the challenges we're facing and how we can overcome them as we move forward. I'm also setting up a short-term mission trip from the 21st to the 28th of September, where different Barnabas members are coming to Paraguay for a vision trip to be able to see and take part of our work and to be able to think creatively of how to move forward. And so thank you. Thank you for being part of what we're doing. And I think that together, I believe that together, we can make a difference in Paraguay and many of these communities. Thank you.
turn to page 39. If you have ideas or thoughts or ways you think that you might be able to come alongside Diaconia, would you jot those down, jot your name, your phone number, email address down there, tear that out, and put it in the Judah's box, Diaconia's box, as you leave tonight. Father, I just lift up Judah to you and just thank you for his heart, Lord. It's so interesting as I hear these speakers, how you've given each one different visions and different talents and just different passions, Lord. But they're all to serve you. And it's just so incredibly cool and wonderful and encouraging and inspiring. And so I just pray that with Judah, that you would bless him, that you would continue to bring the people alongside him, that would give him the wisdom, the discernment, the things that he needs, the resources, and that you would continue to grow his ministry and bless the people as they grow their businesses, they become holistically whole, but yet, more importantly, they come to know you. We just thank you for that, Lord. Pray that in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ.